Hi there, thanks for joining me again for some ASMR time together. And I thought with our time together today, I would take this opportunity to read to you a story that I have written, which may become part of a book of short stories. Not so much fairy tales, but suitable possibly for young adults or children or bedtime reading. I haven't quite decided on the genre, but I thought as I had this one done, it would be nice to share it with you. Some gentle reading might help you relax, and if you're anything like me, people tell me it's also a trigger. So if you make yourself comfortable, take a few deep breaths, and hopefully this will help you relax a little bit and maybe get to sleep. The title for the story that I have at the moment is called Unseen Darkness. Okay, let's begin. I feel it often around me, like a shadow, but darker. It's a darkness that I can almost feel. Its breath, its power. I cannot see it, but I know it is there, and at night it grows in size and strength. I know it is not my friend, and yet it has done me no actual harm. Yet. We're moving? Where? To an old pub that has closed down. It's nearer for me for work, and it's got lots of garden, explained Dad as he went out to get his briefcase from the car. I'm not sure if my dad knows me very well, but the garden wasn't really the part which I was listening to. It was the old pub that had closed down. Old pub. I wonder how old. I knew I probably shouldn't Google it, but after finding out the name and the village, I felt I had no choice. And without too much hunting and scrolling, there it was. The Black Horse, a 400-year-old pub with an array of old and new stories. I skipped the most current and focused in on the ones from years gone by. There was a well, and a young girl had drowned in it, and old weapons that had been found in the cellar. Was this really a place I wanted to live? My mum already said I had an imagination that ran away with itself, but here in front of me were the facts. I read on with a keen interest, and with my curiosity getting the better of me. An old woman had been spotted looking out of the top window, waiting for her son to return from war, and children could be heard laughing from one of the top bedrooms. This did not sound good. I always felt like I was susceptible to spirits, and here was a place almost filled to the rafters. 400 years of ghosts. I'm surprised that there would be any room for the living. I had read stories before about places with cellars and how the spirits used them as a gateway between the two worlds. I scrolled down further and found my mind getting sucked in, like it knew that it should draw me in. As I looked at old pictures of the place and photos, I imagined myself being there. There was a photo of two children by the pub. One was my age. I wondered if one of those was the one that had drowned. What must it have been like for them? Had they seen anything? Were they one of the ghosts now? Dinner's ready. I jumped. I had got myself in a state of anxiousness, and yet there was something that made me feel a little bit excited. Would the time eventually arrive where I would see for my own eyes what I had suspected to exist all along? After throwing my dinner down my neck and watching some light-hearted TV to take my mind off what I had been reading, I made my way to bed. Floating around in my mind were still some of the stories that I had Googled about the old pub, but I tried to put them to the back of my mind. I was told once that if you think about spirits, it opens up an avenue or a door to allow them to come through. So I just politely told the spirits in my mind that I'm sorry, but this door is not open. But perhaps I would leave my sidelight on tonight, just in case. Help me, help me, help me. What was that, I thought, as I sat up in bed. I thought I heard something, but looking around my bedroom, everything seemed to be as it should be. I laid back down and closed my eyes, but almost immediately I felt something. I cannot explain it. It was like a soft breeze that had gone around me and leant very slightly into me. I sat up again. Suddenly the stories about the old pub came flooding back. "Is there somebody there?" I asked softly, pulling my duvet up to my chin. I don't know if my eyes were playing games on me, but I could have sworn that I saw a young girl. It was very brief, but she was definitely dead, and she was blue, but stood in the corner of my room. She looked wet and frightened, quite young, about 4 years old. I knew I could feel something. "Who are you?" I could not see her, but I knew she was there. "Who are you? What do you want?" I asked again, wrapping my duvet now tightly around me. I heard nothing, although her presence still seemed to be in the room, and it was like she was asking me for help. I sat up looking around my room for what seemed to be an age, but must have dropped off, as before I knew it, my mum was coming in to wake me up. But the events from the night before had stuck firmly to me. I jumped out of bed and grabbed my laptop. Not before breakfast, you know the rules," said Mum, pulling back the curtains. "Sorry, Mum, just 2 minutes. I just have to check something." I googled again the Black Horse and found the old photos and looked closely at the two children in one of them. Was this the girl that I thought I had seen last night? "What are you looking for?" Mum asked curiously. "Ghosts, Mum, or something to tell me who the girl was," I replied quickly, as I was desperate to find answers. "Ghosts? For heaven's sake, They don't exist. Come, have your breakfast." As I looked at the old photo, it did not look like the girl that I thought I had seen, but I could have sworn that it would have been. I sat back a bit on my bed, then remembered that I had skipped the most recent stories of the pub. I scrolled back up there and there had been a young girl that had drowned in the bath. I scanned the article quickly, picking bits out. They had put it down to an accidental death, but looking at her face last night, if it was her, perhaps it wasn't. "Come on, you, breakfast. Then you have 10 minutes to get ready before school, or you'll miss your bus. Hurry up." I closed down my laptop. This would need more investigating. Over the next weeks before our moving in day, I looked up articles and facts about the pub, but could not find anything. The young girl had an older brother. Maybe he drowned her, or maybe something else. With the bits of the jigsaw not falling into place and the memory of the dream fading, I started to think it had all been my imagination, just as my mum had said. "Right, girls, your dad is getting a takeaway for our first night here, as I haven't had time to shop. Your boxes are in your bedrooms, but if you both sleep in one room tonight, we can tidy the other up tomorrow." We were finally here at the Black Horse pub. It didn't look at all as I had imagined all those weeks ago, and was actually quite nice. Didn't look like a pub now, although it had a lot of dark beams. My sister, who was younger than me, and I had a good look around, but it was starting to get dark, so we would leave most of the exploring until tomorrow. We both went upstairs to unpack some of our boxes and our clothes, or at least our pyjamas for bedtime. I didn't tell my sister what I had read about the old pub, partly because it may scare her, but also she would probably not believe me or go running to Mum and Dad. As we made our way up the stairs, the ceilings were low and the stairs creaked a bit. After all, it was still 400 years old. There were 2 floors, and we were at the top, next to the bathroom. Remembering the dream vaguely, I peered inside of the bathroom. It looked quite normal, not sinister, as I had pictured it, so I put what I had thought I'd seen out of my mind. But the stories of the other ghosts still drifted away, and I remembered the old lady waiting for her son, or the laughing children in the bedroom. Would that be our bedroom? But again, as I walked in, it was light and airy, and the only laughter you could hear was from my sister tripping over things in our room. I think it would be absolutely fine here, and after all, I now wouldn't have so far to walk to school, and it would be handy to visit my friends. After dinner, my sister and I slept top to toe in the beds that Mum had made up for us. It was good fun and felt like we were camping. My sister and I laughed a lot and were excited about the move and what we would get up to in this new home. Come on, you two, quieten down or you'll be tired tomorrow. We both lay down and snuggled into our sleeping bags. It was about 3 in the morning when I bolted up in bed, my eyes wide open. I had felt it again, not the young girl in the room, but a feeling of darkness. A darkness that you could almost feel. It had hovered over me, so close that I almost sensed its breath, just an inch away from my face. It was powerful and grim, and although I felt all of this while I was asleep, I knew it was there. It was bigger and stronger than anything we know, and it had found me and had lingered over me, almost wanting me to challenge it or to simply let me know that it was there. I felt frightened and tried to push it to the back of my mind and reminding myself what my mum had said, that ghosts didn't exist. I forced nice thoughts into my mind and rubbed my eyes. This had to be my imagination again. But just as I was about to lay back down, my sister bolted up in bed, her eyes wide open. "Are you okay?" I asked. "What was that?" she said, looking frightened, and looked around the room. "What was what?" I asked, not to alarm her. "I don't know. It was like a dark shadow leaned down over me." I sat there, listening to what my sister was saying. Could she have felt or seen the same as me? What was this evil darkness? Had this darkness been responsible for the drowning of the young girl or other incidents in this old pub? Or was this just our imaginations playing tricks on us after the excitement of moving into our new home and probably eating too many sugary things before bed as a treat? I decided that being the older sister, I would make sure that one of us got a good night's sleep. "Oh, sorry, that was me. I got up to go to the toilet and I tripped as I came back in and nearly fell on you. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. Go back to sleep. Night-night." She lay back down with a sense of relief on her face. For me, however, I knew what I had felt as I had felt it before. Tonight I would sleep with one eye open and pray the light of the morning and the song of the birds would arrive early and quickly. "Wakey, wakey, sleepyheads, it's a beautiful day," Mum said, coming into our room. "Granny is popping over later to have a look at our new home, so we'll all need to do some tidying, but at the end of it we'll have a celebratory lunch in a nearby pub that's still open." I sat up. The morning sunlight came beaming through the window, and it was like the night before had not happened. It had felt so real just hours ago, but now I questioned myself. Although the prospect of going to another pub didn't fill me with excitement, but I do love a homemade pie and real gravy. "Mum, what's the name of the other pub?" "Oh, I don't know. I think it's called the George and Dragon." I jumped out of bed and grabbed my laptop. "A dragon, you say? I know I'm probably going to regret this, but let me just Google it." Mum bent down to me. "Later, Missy," and she took the laptop away. "Breakfast first, girls, then some tidying up. I can't believe the mess in here. Are you sure it was only you two sleeping here last night?" Yep. That's the first draft of a possible story going into a collection that I'm hoping to complete. And glad we've had this time together to share it. I hope you're feeling a bit bit more relaxed now. And if you like what you heard or see, please like it below and subscribe to my channel to get the latest on new videos and any updates for what I do. And take care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.